What's up? We're in the next part. How are you doing? Okay, did I give you the date? It's the 28th of February 2024. Yeah, okay, we're done singing. In the first part, please go check out To Gauge Your Bearings, that part. I was showing you, I was singing amakulo songs that God is showing me is the general sentiment. Now we're going to get into the gist of the message. Already, we did get to the gist of the message to a certain extent in the previous part, but we're really going to get into it now because there's not going to be any singing. Yeah, yo. Look at my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm working very hard for Christ. We all know that's a thing. It's frozen. My heart is broken and I'm dealing, man. I'm coping. I'm just getting through it. Like going through the modes. It's rough, my lifing, to deal, nakona. Because it's not easy and go nowhere. It's not easy to work so hard and go nowhere. I am striving because there is no other thing that I can do. I am being pursued by the occult, and the biggest pursuit of my person right now, above everything else, above people just not wanting me to succeed, not wanting me to be happy, is romantic pursuit. Kibanna, guys, it's men. It's men and women that are helping them. They want me with one of these randos and ish, guys. Yes, I if I had known, but then again, I guess there's no way that I could have known, right? But the devil would have inevitably sent occult practitioners to me because he knows me, even if people don't. But I was about to say that if I had known how harassed by men I would be, I would have probably done a faceless channel where it is that my face, my body, my manner. Yeah, basically I would have done ministry facelessly, so that, you know, I don't get looked at. As soon as guys find out what I'm going through, the fact that I'm suffering, I'm struggling, I don't have much love in my life. Yes, like it, guys. Yes, the level of entitlement, like the entitlement, like just it's the entitlement. Imagine somebody Akshela Estratin, some dude coming to you and being like, hello, nice, and then you're like, no, I'm not interested. Okay, and then he throws you into traffic like you're walking in your neighborhood, and then some dude tries to shella you and you are like, no, and then he throws you onto oncoming traffic. That's what I'm experiencing, like, every day. And the only reason why this guy throws you onto oncoming traffic is because he's looked around and seen that there's no one estratini other than you. There's no one looking. There's kids playing in the distance, but they're not looking at you. There's people in their houses that you can hear, you know, audibly, but they're not looking at you. He does it quickly, precisely because no one is witnessing you being killed by him. That level of, but like in broad daylight, like that level of entitlement, those are the kinds of men I'm dealing with. And the only thing that's given them bravado is my life. How much I'm suffering. Ka witchcraft. And the pursuit is, in fact, let's backtrack on that story with the girl in the street, right? Imagine one day you're sleeping at home, and then there is a house break-in, a robbery, a burglary at night, and all of your siblings get killed, and your mom and dad, and you are the only person strangely left surviving. They can see that you're there, but they choose not to kill you. You survive this, you bury them, and now you are by yourself, living by yourself. Every so often you get checked in on by the, you know, odd uncle, but you are living there by yourself because you're over the age of 18. So now that house where your family members died is yours. You're living there. You're scared all the time. And then next thing, one of the robbers the guys that were there that killed your family. But you don't know because, when they came to rob your family, they were wearing masks. So I'll say, you then go to East Plaza to go and buy bread. And when you go out and buy bread, this guy sees you coming out of the house because he's been surveilling you. And then he walks towards you looking like a regular dude like us. And he's like, hello, Njan, Sisi. Yeah, and then he starts to holler at you. And then you decide that you're not interested in him. Following which he then throws you into oncoming traffic. Precisely because he trusts that no one is coming for you. That your family members are dead. He remembers he killed them. Not only that, when you look around, everybody in the neighborhood are minding their own business. They're not looking out for you the way they should be, given that you are, in the position that you're in. That saying, protect our girls? Like when women are alone, the world needs to step up and protect them because there's creeps in these streets. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening to me. It's like I've got men who find my ministry, right? They learn more or less what I'm going through, I'm suffering. And then they add insult to those injuries by coming in and killing my family. Like they literally worsen the state of my family members. They cast spells on my family to mistreat me so that my life would be so hard that I would consider them, I would embrace their pursuit. And when I say no anyway, that's when they then throw me onto oncoming traffic. That is the epidemic of, never mind gender-based violence, but witchcraft in this country. You don't understand. These people are entitled. And when they want something, they will go to whatever lengths it is required for them to go to get it. So when they want you as a woman, they're prepared to decimate your family. They're prepared to sow discord between you and your mom. They're prepared to sow discord between you and your siblings so that you will be so fed up with them and he will be the only person there to be like they're there. Literally award you comfort in a climate where everybody else is passing you shade. They will sow discord between friends. Separate you, isolating you, basically divide and conquer and make themselves the only ones coming into the picture. It's very hard to get a good wife in 2024 or any other time before these years. Similarly too, is it hard to get a good husband, but it's largely women that do this. Not women, sorry, men. Men do this largely to women because it's generally expected of them to be the ones providing, the ones independent, and the ones that, like, if a man is like mother is not there for him or friends are not there for him, it's not as big a train smash as it is for women because men are generally self-protecting. They have they're slightly more individualistic than women are. We tend to need a lot more shielding around us than men do. So women don't go out of their way to isolate men when they want them so that they can be the only ones pampering them and loving them. Plus, on top of that, no woman wants to be with a man that no one else wants because it's sort of kind of unsafe, and it's like, how are you going to take care of me if nobody trusts you in this world? So women would not go out of their way to sabotage a man's life in order to infiltrate their way into that man's life, because women want men strong. They want men to be strong in order for them to, I guess, be in relationships with them, for them to feel secure in that space. Whereas men sometimes need women to be weak in order for them to get them. They want to be in a position to essentially be knight and shining armors in their lives, to be the prince, the knight and the Prince Charmings that are going to rescue Cinderella out from the clutch of an evil stepmom and evil stepsisters. Women are the ones that get put in positions to be damsels in distress, that little heroic men can rock up and rescue the day. It's thoroughly, I've described this before, it's like a Hegelian dialectic. A Hegelian dialectic describes the phenomenon of, I guess, a society of elitist people making a decision to cause a disaster on the ground, that they might be the ones to rescue the day once people become needy thanks to that disaster. They essentially kidnap a person and then orchestrate the rescue. That's what a Hegelian dialectic looks like. These men operate within a model of a Hegelian dialectic. They put a woman in a position to need rescuing, and then they come and they award her salvation from her chains. It is so bad, this problem, that it is destituting women from families. Like, it's literally isolated. Like, the thing that women need, they are having it robbed, and the people that are in a position to reward it to them again are dangerous. Kind of men that would come into your life and 5 years into your marriage, 6, 7, 10 years, kill you, your children, and then turn the gun on himself because he's always been violent. He came in with those antics, but you don't know. And so, dealing with a passive-aggressive, demon-possessed husband, you are trying ukuzithoba in his midst, and nothing is working until ultimately everybody's dead, including the man. Like, that's the extreme of what this kind of man can do in the life of a woman. They tend to be little creepy miscreants that are involved in the occult, and thanks to occult involvement are demon-possessed. And demon possession causes a man to become very prideful, very arrogant. It makes a man lose a lot of friends because of that pomp and that arrogance, and is unapologetic in being as rude as he is to his ecosystem. So over time, he just becomes this rando that doesn't have any real true loyalty, only just a bunch of sycophants. People that are kissing his behind, not prepared to tell him the truth about himself because they're psyching up. But actual, real, true, loyal friends that are there looking out for you, ride or die, doesn't have any such thing. So this man, therefore, likely on that day will take stuff like that out on a wife. On a wife. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you're at. Rude. Like, passive-aggressive. And you can never satisfy him. Nothing you do will ever add up. Acting that way towards a woman that he once upon a time doted over. Because, you know, Bina Elea, Destiny's Child, God actually uses it a lot. Just the beginning part of it. Bills. The beginning part, it goes, at first we started out real cool, taking me places I ain't never been, but now. Yeah, just that part. At first we started out real cool. Yeah, they start out real cool in the beginning. They are so doting. They've got to be really loving in the beginning, because that is what tends to win the struggling damsel over. Everybody in their lives will have, at that stage, treated them some kind of way. And this mistreatment of her person, strangely, because it's always strange. It's literally always strange and overnight, in that people will have done strange deeds against this woman that weren't like that before. Complete changes of character on the part of her family members and friends. And the odd mistreatment of her person would have caused so much love thirst, love hunger in her, that when then she is being showered and pampered with adoration by this one man in a way that nobody else is giving it to her, you will literally think he's Jesus. You will think he is God. It is psychological manipulation. It is an occult tactic, and it's how men in the occult get wives. It is how they get wives. The women they marry tend to be made isolated from their support structure that used to exist before these guys met. He will speak down or badly about friends of yours that he meets, maybe even your own family members. Your mom, he'll have something negative to say about her. Your dad, he will highlight something you never thought was an issue in your sister. All of a sudden you will start to see it as an issue. He will not only badmouth and second guess your family members, but cause you to second guess your own family members, but he will also manipulate things spiritually in your family members who, if they're not born again, will capitulate to sorcery. And so they will act strange towards you. There was this guy that I dated at MTN for like 2 months. It did not last. And I remember after I introduced him to my older sister. One time when we went out on, we didn't go out on a date. My sister was at this one restaurant. And I met with her there with my boyfriend. He was my boyfriend at the time. I was already a Christian. And as soon as we arrived at the restaurant, I saw a side of that guy that I'd never seen the whole time. Every time I would chat with him, because he used to work with me. We used to work, not together, but like in the same building at MTN. I never used to see him being that way, not even with colleagues, okay? He seemed like a generally nice guy to everybody. and when with me, just the two of us as well, with staff, like what do you call this, like waiters and waitresses. He was a good guy. He was sweet. He was nice to people generally. He had a kind disposition about himself. And for the first time, I saw him be rude to somebody with my older sister. And for me, it was like we went to this restaurant. My sister was already there, okay? And I introduced him to my sister. And, you know, he greeted her and everything. And throughout the time when we were talking at the table, he was aloof. He kept his shades on. He was looking Hlongwane. He was always on his phone. He had so much attitude. I could tell that he did not like my sister. Ultimately, and my sister was uncomfortable as well. But like, she sort of kind of let it slide. We left, right? Eventually we left the restaurant. Oh, and then there was a colleague of a mutual colleague that worked at MTN that was at an opposite restaurant. Go that particular patch of like road. I don't know if we were go Norwood or Melville or whatever. And this colleague was like, hello, and greeted from like a distance this one colored girl. And he knew her. I also knew her, but like he knew her more because he worked in marketing type establishment thing. And I greeted, but then he actually stood up and went to go and chat with her type thing. And you know, he was very friendly or open, like I am used to him being. Like I was at that stage used to him being. And when he came back, his whole constitution changed again. He went mean. After chatting very, you know, with a jovial facial animation with that colored chick, and then came back to the table where we were sitting and was just cold, aloof, arrogant. He had a pomp about him, and he was mean to my sister. And for the life of me, I couldn't get it. It upset me so much, but I didn't want to raise it because I don't want to hurt my sister. I don't want my sister getting hurt thinking that, oh, your boyfriend doesn't like me or whatever, okay? And I mean, proper, yes, like, you're that guy. However, when I got in the car, I was like, do you have a problem with my sister? Like, why were you like that at the table? What was said? What was done? I was really hoping that he would give me an explanation that I could get, that I could understand, something that made sense. Because I could not understand why he was acting like that. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, given that I did not have a history of such behavior from him before. And he started talking to me about how he feels like my sister, uyazibona. He thinks that she's kind of arrogant, that she's self-important. I was like, is this guy seriously speaking this smack about my sister? I got so angry that I told him where to get off. I drove at like the speed of lightning to go back home. We were using my car, okay? I dropped him off. I didn't speak to him the rest of the journey. I dropped him off at his apartment, and I was like, get out of my car. And he was like, you're not coming in? Yeah, I used to spend a whole bunch of time with that guy in his apartment. Another reason why God had to break us up. It was full of lust. But anyway, whatever. He was like, so you're not coming in? I was like, why in the world would I want to come in to the house of a person that I've just introduced to the first family member at all? It was the first person he ever met in my family. He hadn't met any of my friends yet. No one. He had that funny, weird, aloof disposition towards my sister. He was also strange towards my church folk, but like not quite like the way that he was with my sister. It caused a fight between us. That's not what caused us to break up. We ultimately would break up. But that was a man that already just felt like I need to be isolated from the people in my life. And he was already speaking badly about the people in my life so that he would be the only person that is frankly the best thing in my life there. Hebatung, guys, Yazi, people in the occult, I would only come to learn after losing everything, after like my life basically hit all different kinds of fans, that guy was involved in witchcraft. And he came in Kakorobela. I was resistant to his pursuit of me. I didn't want him initially. And he came in ka Ngane. He was like uzongi tata. He came in kankane. Yeah, so he basically korobelad me in. And when a person uses witchcraft to come into your environment, there is no security in his pursuit of you. He does not trust that you're there because you want to be there. It is a spiritual manipulation of your person, so therefore he's got to elevate himself. And anybody that could highlight concerns about your union with this person, they try to Snuff them out before they can say anything at all. Anybody that tries to raise the but this guy, where did you meet him? What's the big idea? Or, what's he about? What does he do? How did you guys meet? He doesn't look like the type of guy that you generally would be interested in, Karabo. But anyway, yeah, anybody that can cause you to second guess a person in your life, anyone, he will try to separate you from them. He will sow seeds in your heart and in your life to make you doubt people you've known literally all your life, to make you feel as if they're mona of you, to make you feel as if though they don't have your best interest at heart, etc. Yeah, because this person has not earned his keep in your life. He has not come in, pursued you, and won you over. He basically reeled you in with a fish hook, caught a hook in your palate and reeled you in like an animal with bait. He used spirits to bring you in, and so he inherently understands that he does not deserve you. He inherently understands that he's not in your league. And people that can identify that as a thing are in your life. They're your friends, they're your family members. They can tell when somebody is a downgrade. They can tell. And sometimes they are vocal about it. They will let you know this person is not the kind of person that you tend to be with. So where's I saying this time around? You're dropping the ball, girl. So he will then first be the one to downsize their opinion or the value of their inputs in your life. And this guy already showed those kinds of flames to me with the way that he treated my sister. Thank God I left before I would introduce him to friends. He would have been so rude. I remember saying to him, if you can be so rude to my sister, guys, the rest of my family, if I were to invite you to a family event, are you going to treat my uncle like that? Are you going to treat my cousins like that? Dude, nah, I can't have you in my life if you're going to treat my family members like trash. If you're going to walk around like, you've arrived, if you don't have humility in the midst of that bugger made me miss my ex-boyfriend. He made me miss my ex-boyfriend, and at that stage I was already done with my ex. I was a Christian woman. There was no way I was ever going to get back together with my ex-boyfriend because he did not know Jesus. All that jazz. When a man makes you miss an ex, run scared, dog, run scared, baleja, run. Because an ex is an ex for good reason. You left that guy. You dumped him, because he had to be pumaguyed. He had to be left. My ex had to be left. But that bugger, that one fateful day, made me miss my ex-boyfriend because my ex-boyfriend was cordial and he was kind with my family members. He got along. He was not rude to them. He did not underestimate them, disrespect them. Neither did I underestimate or disrespect his family members. It was one big fat camaraderie. I was with him for 5 years and I was like, how in the world am I going to date a dude oling rude to Batwakoyesu? When my family members know the other guy, they're going to give me pressure for the rest of my marriage about how they're basically going to make it clear, Uguti, there was a guy that was much better than this before, Kara. And you went and decided to go chat at this thing. Or underestimate that looks down on us, except he does not look down on my family. He is scared of them. He is scared of what they might find out about him, of what they might realize that I don't see because I'm blinded by love or whatever. Yeah, they tend to be that way. They tend to be like that. They don't like a woman with family. They don't like a woman with friends. They don't like a woman with company. They don't like a woman with an environment that encircles her, that can look out for her best interest, whether or not she will listen to them. They thoroughly try to separate a woman from her loving ecosystem. They go and they grab the ballerina chick and they make her a heroin addict. And in order to succeed at doing that, you've got to turn a daughter against her dad. You've got to turn a daughter against her mom. You've got to turn a daughter against her brother. Everybody that can raise or highlight the fact that ever since you started dating this guy, a lot has gone awry. They undermine their presence in your life first. That's how you can spot them. They've got this aloof disposition towards family and friends. They have a way about not liking family. They will speak smack about abantu bagini. They will speak smack about your cousins, your sisters, your uncles, abangani. They will hate, disregard, and disrespect people in your life, not because people in your life are worthy of being disregarded, but because they're the only ones that can call a spade when they see it being a spade. They're the only ones ba kgonang ho bona hore mo Karabo you have dropped a ball. So sometimes what they do then is actively sabotage your relationship with family members if you don't listen to their bad mouthing of your family, if you don't listen to what their opinion is about your mom or your brother, if you don't listen to their rubbish, if you brush it off on some Abuti, please, no, this is my sister, I will always take my sister's side, then they will ensure that your opinion about your sister is similar to what he desires your opinion about your sister be. In other words, he will spiritually manipulate your sister to trash you. He will spiritually mess with your sibling to make your sibling hurt you. So he can say, when you cry to him, when you run to him on some babe, yes, Usiswam did ABC, he'll be like, see, I told you. He'll be like, see, I told you. There's something about Usiswako. She's not looking out for you. I got Tandy like that. Unamona, your sister's jealous of you. This is what's up. And you will be like, I never saw it that way. I guess you came into my life and made me see something that I didn't realize was there all along. I can't believe that she's been like that all this time. It really hurts. But anyway, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you're here for me. You're my ride or die. Guys, it's a whole strategy. It is nefarious. It's diabolical. Men in the occult, they can't just share. Lezinja azgwazi nje ukushela. Bandla we o igwababa, just take it in your stride deal. If you're scared of a woman, shela. If she says no, move on. Type setup thing. Kodwa angeke uzungene nje. Uyoforce itshela ukuthi izoba now. You can't do that. Men who come into relationships with women with that stuff have an inherent lack of security in themselves. And so therefore they will undermine everybody in your life that can cost them you. Everybody empiloniako that can, what is going on up there? Everybody in your life that can cost them you, they will spiritually get out the way. They feel as if though, guys, I can't say this enough, people in the occult but feel like bangasebenzisa lezinto zabo for everything, like everything. Imagine meeting a guy just day before yesterday and he has already caused such a massive rift between a family you've had all your life in just 2 weeks, Joe. Like proper, a family you've had since you were 0 years old. Gugu gaga. Out here rolling these streets with a pacifier. Onzo khasa. People you've known from then. He will sow discord just so he can be your husband. Just so he can be your boyfriend. Just so he can have sex with you. He will cost you relationships with people that raised you. People that you've had in your life. Impilo yakho yonke. Angamosha ama relationships wako with all of those people. It's literally the epitome of selfishness. People in the occult, yes, like Joe, I can't, like, I say this over and over again, especially Amatota we korobela. Bangamosha, bapitlisa, a perfectly happy family. Uguti ayotola ichichi from there. To go and get a virgin from that household. To go and get icheri that he does not deserve. A woman ongam faneli because, hey, dude, she's out of your league. She's out here like, Papa, you are not in her league. Ani fanelani, and he will make her in his league. He will create out of her life some disorderly, cantankerous chaos. And then say, baby, I'm here for you. Basically, he will act like the therapist or the shrink that you've always needed in order to see the problems you actually have in your life. Like things you never had as issues. He will suddenly be there to help you identify them. You will now, all of a sudden, have problems you've never had with your baby brother. Who wants to marry that monster? They separate women from family and friends because they don't deserve them. They separate women from family and friends because they have not earned them. They are wicked, they're fallen, they're involved in the occult, they're evil. They're spiritual manipulators. In and of themselves, they're guilty of sin. They can tell that they're rotten. And manje mabolekangago aiko itigin haona musadi that's going to be prepared in Jefera Lonyala Munna Waseboko. So he's going to have to try and make himself look really great. Act like a knight in shining armor. Largely Hana Mutos buying Skelem Sahaya in the life of this woman, but like anyway, he's there. They destroy family, they sow discord between family members just to get to a woman. And what's happening in my life is just a constant exacerbation of an issue that already happened years ago. Already my family was mistreating me. My family's also involved in darkness, so really they're not innocent. But I have not always had such a terrible family. Like, they've not always mistreated me like this. Their random rubbish commenced indeed when I got born again in Christ. But it got especially terrible at a particular point. And when I lost everything, men who would later from that date going forward meet me would be interested in me, try to pursue me upon failing, use Korobela, and upon looking closely at my life, then decide that she already has a fallen relationship with her family members. Worsen it. She's gonna come into my life no matter what. Like literally holding a woman hostage with a Cinderella life that she has not originated in. Who is Cinderella? Cinderella is this woman that has a dad who marries a woman that has 2 other daughters. And then the dad passes away, and all of a sudden from the date of the dad's death, her step-sisters and stepmom treat her like trash. But like when you were born biologically to a family and you've been with them all your life, when all of a sudden you experience a Cinderella phenomenon, that stuff is induced. When all of a sudden a biological sibling or a biological parent treats you like trash until you're sitting down talking with your fiance about how it is that your family don't love you, thank God he's there. Honey, look into that guy. Peruse him, investigate the bugger. Look at him with a freaking magnifying glass out here. Grab a telescope, a periscope, any viewing paraphernalia to interrogate even his genetic makeup, to gauge if Lomuntu aglisang, to see if he has not used witchcraft on you and your family members. And the best way to discover that is to enter into a fast, is to get born again, get saved in the Lord Jesus Christ, and then fast. When you are fasting, demons manifest and the Lord reveals a lot. And people get loosed from chains. They get loosed from bonds. So the sorcery that he has put on your mom, on your dad, on your siblings, is going to be broken. My family members are not quite coming around fast enough because in and of themselves they're involved in darkness. So really a kingdom divided cannot stand. But if you've got this innocent mom that all of a sudden overnight started treating you like you are a stepdaughter that she adopted, Gangani, because the ex-husband, her husband passed away, she got widowed, and you are the biological child of that man. When your biological mother that used to do better by you treats you like trash, all of a sudden, and if your mother is not into random bewitching everything, Lana, she's not involved in darkness, that is a spell that has been cast on your unfortunate mom. If your mom is not a praying woman, if she's not a Christian, she's a sitting duck. People who are not born again, who are not saved, are sitting ducks under sorcery. The spells work. People's characters therefore get changed. They make people sin against other people. And men in the occult feel entitled to women. Anybody. So basically, the worst thing that can ever happen to you as a woman is to suddenly start working for the company where it is that some guy that's going to have a crush on you that's involved in the occult works. Imagine that. Like, how you going to ever figure that out? How you going to know that your first day at Vodacom there's going to be some dude Otawing that works in your department that's going to one day make a decision that, oh, thank goodness Lerato has started working here, she's going to be my wife. The worst thing you can ever do is meet these people, but the sad thing is they're everywhere. They're in our schools. They are people that we study with in lecture halls. They're in sporting teams with us. They're at gyms we exercise at. They're everywhere. They're at places we go to socialize. They're everywhere. And once they have their eye on you, you're done for. It's especially disquieting for beautiful women, because you are wanted by a lot of guys. Everywhere you go, there's always somebody out there trying to get your number. So if one of these somebodies is one of these random no-brainers, I'm gonna decide that when you're not gonna make the decision as to who you're gonna marry, he can make a decision that it's gonna be him. He can literally pedestal himself and put himself on a throne as your husband. Also, like Umukaze, he will feel like he loves the way you laugh. He will look at your credentials, your stats after you have a conversation with him. She's this kind of graduate, or this or that. This is her job. This is the kind of woman I've been looking for. And instead of putting his best foot forward, like the way that men are supposed to, and actually pursuing you, trying to see if he can't take you out on a date, actually work to earn his keep in the life of a woman. He will manipulate her spiritually to make her a puppet on a string. Next thing, you're married to a guy that you would not have chosen yourself. A man that you would not have given a second chance or even gone on a first date with. They're spiritually manipulative, and the sad thing about it is they come in, they mess with all of your family so that you will always lean on them, seeing as they have not earned their keep. And then, this is what's the baddest kicker in the game. All of a sudden, you will go from being this pursued woman, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're a flower. All these guys be out here falling around your feet, cracking their teeth the way all of a sudden, girls, I'm not lying to you, it's gonna be dry. You will think you've lost it. You will think all of a sudden you'll be the social media Instagram chick, you'll be the social media Facebook chick, and all of a sudden the direct messages gonna stop coming. Guys, it's freaky, man. It's freaky, the stuff these people do. You will literally be this gorgeous woman with all of these flawless photos on Instagram, and your DMs will go from maybe 10 a day, 20 a day, to 1 or 2, sometimes 5 days. I mean, not to say that you should be seeking validation on social media, but when all of a sudden nobody, when you used to get shared by wonkumuntu, you will think you've turned 98 overnight. You will think you've turned like this, that guy. These things happen. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to say so much that but bottom line is it's that basic. What y'all need to understand, social media, y'all, like proper, if you're in social media, your DMs will sometimes even completely disappear. But largely it'll be a reduction in direct messages. You will feel insecure and you will upload photo after photo after photo just to try and regain love from people, praise. It'll go dead, wankutwa mum. And then in your personal space, in your personal life, where you walk these streets, this guy that I used to date at MTN, I was with him only for 2 months, thank God. That did not last very long. One time this one guy came to my desk, marketing, that guy, and I was sitting with the project managers and marketing project. We were not far from marketing. He could see me from his desk. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, yeah. This one dude rocked up at my desk to chat with me, and indeed the conversation was personal. It was not work related. Right? He was a married man trying to. That guy also used to call me on weekends. And he got my number off the active directory at work, and I was annoyed with him. So he was not an innocent colleague just trying to get information on work, especially considering I didn't actually work with him on anything. Right? But this guy did not know that. This guy that I was dating, I don't have any working relationship with this guy that was at my desk. He was just there, and I was just sitting talking with him, and that's why I'm gesturing by looking up that way. He was standing up and he was busy talking with me. I'm distracted from my job while I was sitting down. Later on that afternoon, when I would hang out with I guess he was my boyfriend at the time, he then started to badmouth the living daylights out of that married guy. Ebatung, I did not tell him, Ebatung, some dude in marketing is like out here trying to holler at me, phone like at the weekend I didn't tell him. It was irrelevant. It was never going to end up as anything. And yet this dude rocked up all of a sudden explaining to me, where is this guy? And I was like, why under heaven are you gossiping some strange dude with me? I started to notice there was an exorbitant jealousy in this guy, and he was looking at just any guy at all that was looking at me and that was trying to chat with me, and he was already striking them. It did not happen only with that one guy. Sometimes it would be colleagues and of different races. Whether you're Indian, whether you're white, whether you're black, it did not matter. And whenever there would be a colleague that I do actually work with, so we are actually talking about a project over here, and that guy would be standing at my desk for 10 minutes, Ribua. This guy would have something to report about that colleague. He would have something to say, yazi this guy, yazi Neville this, yazi John that, yazi Peter this, yazi Usbusiso. I would be like, How do you know so much about all these guys? I don't even know all those details about them, and I work with them. When I'm at marketing information about wonke umuntu. He's to sa wonke umuntu la emgaqweni wena une scoop sa wonke umuntu la. This guy was weird. He was just that's what devil worshippers are like. They will have an inordinate jealousy towards the woman in their life, and that woman will not be able to breathe, and they will envy every man. Why? Because they did not come in right. They did not put their best foot forward. They did not romance. They did not wine and dine. They did not do stuff to win a woman over. They manipulated her spiritually. So every man is a threat. This guy therefore he put a target on the backs of sometimes just completely innocent colleagues out there trying to find out what's going on with the project. He had something negative to say. He just wanted to change my mind about anyone that I could potentially look at above him. But these signs are there. These are the kinds of signs that you will pick up. If at all, this person, you will notice that they do this in their behavior, right? Physically. But they don't just stop at the physical thing. They don't just gossip, badmouth, revile any man that can talk to you. They actually go out of their way to make sure that it's freaking dry. Like the guy in America, God showed me his witchcraft, what it is similar to. I don't know if you guys have seen music video, Beyonce from back in the day, Ring the Alarm. Beyonce is this like angry woman that is basically singing, ring the alarm, I've been through this too long, I would be damned if I see another chick in your arm. She's basically screaming at the top of her mind, looking like a psychopath, threatening to kill any woman that comes into the life of her man, and also likely kill the man too. Yeah. The Lord showed me this man, instead of it being Beyonce, it was him. Where he was like, ring the alarm, I've been through this too long, I would be damned if I see any other man come into your arms. Yebatung guys, that is a man that can kill you. That is a man that can beat you to a fine powder, grind you to a pulp, purely because he saw you smiling to a man, with a man at the grocery store. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Perfect Guy with Michael Ealy and Sana, or is it Sana? Nathan? I stand corrected as to that woman's surname. The guy beats up some dude at the gas station for praising Sana's car. Yeah, guys, she was driving some sports car and this guy's like, whoa, this is such a beautiful car. Where did you get it? Just asking innocent questions. And Michael Ealy burst into a fit of rage and literally almost killed a man because he was speaking to his girl. I mean, that ultimately results in the man is now trying to kill you, isn't it? Gyahlanjwa in the occult. They go crazy. They don't really earn women. And so for those reasons, they are crazy in their midst. They're insane in the midst of women they bring into their lives. Their jealousy is inordinate. Their jealousy is dangerous. And their jealousy can kill. And the signs of it are already evident early on. They are already stark early on. Indoda, when he has not come in, legitimately, organically, actually ngempela, uzoba isihlanya. He's gonna be lehlanya uzongtrenga, where the woman is concerned. So he will also manipulate stuff spiritually too. So this guy in America, when I first started talking with him, I was getting, I don't know how many friend requests on Facebook a day. All of a sudden, that stuff just went dead, guys. Yes, man. Yo, you don't understand what you're dealing with. All of a sudden, guatula. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, how do you go from getting so many friend requests a day to nothing over 2-3 weeks? My YouTube channel also went completely dead, frozen. Upload content going nowhere. When just a week before, I was growing handsomely, I was new. So, I mean, I wasn't getting like thousands of views per video, maybe like 150. And then next thing, this dude is all up in my grill and I'm out here getting 5 views per day. And sometimes those 5 views is because the same person watched it 2 times. One of the people of which was him. Only person out here liking my content. Yes, like it, guys. I didn't know that that's what he was doing. But he was literally freezing, blocking me. Everything I would speak about, he would come at it. On Facebook, at the Facebook that he was attached to, that he was a friend of mine at was my old one. I left it. But then he would surveil my work, listen to what I say, and then he came against a Facebook that he didn't even have access to. He just knew that it existed because, he didn't just know that it existed. What is this word? I've got a link of my Facebook page down below, guys. I've got a link of my Facebook page in my description box. So he came against that. Like, when you're just growing swimmingly and then next thing stuff just freezes. In the beginning, when I first started my Facebook page, the page, so not my old Facebook, the friends where you can get up to 5,000 friends, but like a page that can have an unlimited number of followers. Yeah, when I first started my page, I don't know how many guys, from when I just had like 100 followers, 200 followers, right now I've got 1,000, okay? From the first like 50 followers, I got DM daily. I was getting direct messaged daily by different guys. That would happen upon my shorts. Me crush. Hello, how are you? Can we talk about Jesus? Whatever. You know how these people be DMing you. Some of them have life, so you just ignore them. Okay? Yeah, I used to get DMs from guys daily. If at all, it was a rough patch, maybe every third day. That went dead. And it's been like that for literally about almost 2 years now. Guys, and it's not like I have not been uploading there. Recently, I just went back to uploading shorts. I got direct messaged by 2 people. But that was during the season of me gaining numbers. All of a sudden, you guys recall that on YouTube, I suddenly grew quite a lot of subscribers over one particular week, and then it froze. It's frozen now, as it is frozen. During the time when I was fluid and moving, yeah, I was getting DM'd again. Guys. These guys, and then it's frozen now. Gutulile again. It's frozen again. When a guy makes sure that no one uyakshela, and anybody that does eventually shela, he is prepared to shoot them dead. You're in danger. Who wants to be married to a man like that? Who wants, as a woman, when you're still beautiful and you're married, to have no man looking at you? Indeed, when you're married, you ought to have eyes for only your husband. But when you get married, you don't suddenly stop being attractive. You don't suddenly stop getting looked at by other men. When a man makes sure that he's the only one looking at you, you're in trouble. When all of a sudden no one is even trying to look in your direction, smile at you, even when you're out there. Hey, Baton guys, this man, he had like people, men have made me feel so insecure. So insecure. Even when you're out in the wild, being ignored. Nobody is looking, like no one is trying to pursue you, and you come from a very different time. You remember how you used to be. You will literally think maybe saying kukil. But like, how does that happen so overnight? That phenomenon happened to me as soon as I lost everything when I was just 29 years old. All of a sudden, I stopped getting looked at by men. I stopped getting pursued. I stopped being regarded, respected. Guys that would be clearly interested in me would make a decision not to go in for the kill. For whatever reason. They would just not do anything about how they feel. And this thing has been going on for a whole decade, and I'm like, God, I'm your child. I'm your daughter. How? You said in your word that the Lord, you cannot curse those whom God has blessed, and you cannot bless those whom God has cursed. How in the world do I look like I've got the curse of some satanic psychopathic men when I'm your daughter? And the only answer that I have ever gotten upon asking that question from the Lord was, because Karabo, I've set you apart to give an example, a story, to explain to people what men and women in the occult are doing to the world around them. What women are being endured through by men who meet them at the bowling alley and decide she's gonna be my wife, and take a completely beautiful woman that is innocent with a bright future and make a decision that no man is going to shella her going forward. That's going to be feasible. that everybody is going to walk right by her like she's invisible, like she's cellophane, and that I'm going to be the only one praising her because I'm a devil worshiper that wants her, and being what I am means that she is highly unlikely going to choose me if she's got all these other options. So he then goes and creates a desert, arid land, radius around a woman, until all she has to look at is this freak. Bese umfazi agcina ashade her captor, her hostage taker. She ends up married to a hostage taker, a beautiful woman that would have been married to the man that she fell in love with, the man of her dreams, that would have inevitably pursued her a year from today. But then she gets married a year early because of the fact that the man that met her first, I like to say they call dibs on women. They call dibs on women. Like first come, first served. They tell themselves that I saw her first, so I'm gonna marry her. It doesn't work that way, you idiot. You don't get to call dibs on a woman. The only dibs you get to call is if you and your boy both like her, and then you're like dibs, and then your boy or you are then awarded the free reign to go and pursue her, but not to take her. If you want to call dibs on a woman amidst 10 guys, the only way that that dibs applies is if you all agree that out of the 10, we all have cast lots, and I'm going to be the one otomushelang. The rest of y'all, you don't get to pounce on that. But you don't get to literally determine that she's gonna say yes. Dibs is not supposed to produce ukoma. Dibs is supposed to only increase the chances of one guy getting the girl. But then if this woman goes out there in the wilderness and meets a bunch of new guys, any one of them could also pursue her and perhaps get in. But these people call dibs in a very dangerous Hunger Games arena type way. It's like Alice in Borderland type dibs, like a horror movie type dibs, where you say first come, first served, where you literally say, she's my wife. You solidify it. You go to the occult. You use magic spells to call dibs on a woman. And how that dibs works is that this woman is not going to get pursued by any other man, because every other man is going to literally be made blind and not see her. So this chick experiences insecurities from here to Timbuktu. Where Omega Sherra just yesterday, Ngamhlanje Ingati is scope out here all insecure, unsure, grandshap if she's still pretty. So good dry man, she feels like she's lost it now. She hasn't lost it. Some bugger and called dibs on her and made sure that other men are repelled from her. Kabanga being married to the man that called dibs on you. Imagine being the wife of a man that made sure that no other man will pursue you. Being the wife of a man that made sure that as soon as you started dating him, you stopped getting, are you freaking serious? You stopped getting DMs on Facebook. You stopped getting DMs on Instagram. You stopped getting like DMs on WhatsApp, if at all your WhatsApp number is linked to your Facebook page. You basically stopped getting hollered at. We went a girl. Nobody's even trying to be with you. So now you are inevitably going to walk down the aisle to this guy. Nobody's going to give him a run for his money. No one. That's the kind of stuff that produces a woman that is a fraction of who she used to be. Kind of stuff that makes a mother be like, ever since you started dating Sbusiso, you don't come visit me anymore. There's something missing in you. The brightness, the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed disposition, I say, there's no joy in your eyes. And then this chick gets defensive because they end up protecting these devil-worshipping men of which are rude to family members. I had a friend, goodness guys, like wait a king. I had a friend that had a deadbeat ex-boyfriend. I did not like the ex. We both used to complain about our exes, but hers was really terrible because namushera. With other way, like he had like a whole stilo issue. Is it skilo? You know, like I'm in love with these. Is it you know that song? I'm in love with these two chicks. I don't know which one to pick. Am I confused because I don't want to lose none of them? Yeah, that guy. He had 2 girlfriends and my friend was one of them. It's ridiculous, okay? And he did not know which one to pick, so I did not like the guy for those reasons. Ultimately, wapumagu that thing and everybody was celebrating. And then she entered into a relationship with some other dude that was not trying to do that I'm in love with 2 chicks thing. He was prepared to make her the only one. And initially we were all happy for her until we discovered Uguti he is one of those. He comes into a woman's life and all of a sudden he is separating her from friends. He's rude to family members, and this chick is being made to make decisions that she never would have made in her own capacity. She was being manipulated with spurts from what God showed me. Una lawyer, this guy, like no man's business. You know, when a bad man makes an ex-boyfriend that was just the bane of society's existence, ex-boyfriend in JAZ, like a horrible ex-boyfriend, when a guy comes into your life and then makes the AZ ex look better, you know you gotta go. Like, there came a time when I was like, yo, I got the ex-boyfriend mega bitter, girl. Even though Namo share some other woman. I'm in love with these two chicks. I don't know which one to pick. Like, yeah, that's what my friend was going through. She got out of that and was made the only queen in a man's life. And we were happy for 5 seconds. And we all started to miss the ex Onamo share. Everybody was like, but like, Uvose was better. Vose was better because Vose was not rude to the parents. Vose was good with us. He never used to sow discord between us and him. He wasn't rude. He wasn't entitled. He wasn't trying to force you to do things that you didn't want to do. He was a nasty little bugger that could not choose one woman. But for the life of me, what ominous, nefarious thing this other guy is, I can't deal. And she became so bitter that she ended up casting spells on me. Because now, anybody that has a shot at a better life as a woman becomes a painful sight for a woman that has been nabbed, held hostage by a guy like that. Megan Zoembu looked like she one of those black girls that look colored, yeah, type setup thing. Yeah, watatwa get some dude all the wing and caused all of us to miss the deadbeat ex onamu mixa licherengwe. Be afraid, be very afraid, be careful. Amatota in the occult, I am doing this video in order to help women spot them from a mile away. They will separate you from friends. They will make you miss an ex that you had to dump. They will cause you to suddenly stop ukushelwa. That one for me. I'm sorry. I was still young. When I dated that bugger from MTN, I was only 27. For ukuthi kufreeze kangaka around me ngingashelwa ngomunye umuntu ever, guys. The guy who got America, I met him when I was 37. I would imagine I was still somewhat pretty. Indeed, it was confirmed. Meng told my friend request and I was being DM'd by guys almost daily. Next thing, get two and just fell a tumbleweed. Cause me nang busy bugela makip gishaban mamatong kit donet mamatong out tea entering poho. Busy against Beyonce. Ring the alarm. I've been through this too long, and I'll be damned if I see another man in your arm. And now here it is at 2 years down the line. Gutulile, ain't nobody trying to DM me. Like proper, nobody is trying to look at me. Uzi Jele, Uguti, I'm going to ultimately be his. Men like these will come in, ring engwe, etzerianenya like ipekete, propose marriage to you, ganocha, wankutla, because it's a trap. Kind of man that'll eventually kill you and your children. Kind of man that'll eventually cause you to commit suicide. Kind of man that if you try to get out, uzopuma in a casket, ungazongjail. Kind of man that tells you, if you don't want to be with me, mom dampa uzokubulala. And that's exactly what I'm dealing with right now. Like, the occult has made men so abusive to women that it is in their best interest to repent if society at all will be restored. The occult, men in it, they first get jobs through witchcraft. They get jobs, they get basically opportunity, that which strengthens a man. And then they start to think they can use it for everything, including romance. But in a romantic space, they become dangerous. They become jealous and they become unreasonable. And in all that unreasonableness will literally isolate a woman so he can be the only person loving her. The only person. Oratang Masadi. Are you listening to me? You come from a family, you're not really Cinderella. And now all of a sudden your mom treats you like trash. You will literally gossip your mom. This guy in America, there was a time when my mom did something slightly better than what she usually does. And I told him about it and he was like, why is she being nice? And he had so much attitude in his face when he said that. It was on Facebook video call. Why is she being nice to you? You could tell that he did not want my family to do better. He did not want my mom to repent. He did not want anybody, not my sister, no one. Because the only way that he is going to prosper to marry a woman that was so out of his league is if she is so abused and violated in her ecosystem, with him being the only person treating her better in that particular ecosystem, that she can see no other way out of this but through him. So how frozen my YouTube channel is right now is because of men like those. It's because of men like those. I'm particularly happy, and it's not just a guy from America, it's quite a few. They don't want me happy because I want her. And when they've made a decision they want you, even if they don't know you, like I gave you the example about the bowling alley, a man that meets you at a bowling alley, and then from that date he's already determined you're his wife. So every other guy he's gonna make sure that nobody's hollering at you in the office, nobody's hollering at you at varsity on campus, nobody is hollering at you at the sporting club, nobody is hollering at you in nowhere. You will literally be dry, arid. All of a sudden you will think there is nobody coming. And so because you will have all those insecurities, you will take whatever is awarded you. Whatever back offer yona on a silver platter today uzoyithatha and izoba inikezwa wena by who? The literal captor of your soul. Uvimbe hostage motho ogubambile nkunzi obolomunyala olobomufa bana. You gonna go and give children to your hostage taker. Stockholm syndrome, that's what it is. And then he will become this hard knock narcissist that turns the whole world against you so he can continue to look good at your expense. He will never be the kind of doting husband that you need, because he will always know that the thing that he is in is kept together by freaking sticky tape. Sticky tape. You are on shaky ground with him as he is on shaky ground with you. That marriage cannot work. You will not be properly loved as you desire to, because these men know that they don't belong there. They don't belong there. The moment they learn sorcery, they hold you hostage with it. Who wants to have a man call dibs on them that's eerie, creepy, and looks like a Hunger Games arena? Who in the world under heaven wants to be trapped under all those smithereens that you are shattered into? Who? No one, guys. No one. But that's what's going on. So right now my YouTube channel is severely frozen because when you are stubborn, what they call recalcitrant, they throw you in front of a moving train and they kill you. And last night I dreamt about one basically saying, utla sebetsa ko Wimpy, utla sebetsa ko McDonald's, because that's the only kind of job that you will ever work, because you don't want to be with me. Like proper, you don't want to be with me, so you will never make decent money. You will age only one. The other day I told you about one who was basically trying to claim that he is going to turn me 50. Like, you know, when you offer a person scraps and jekpela on some, take these scraps, because nothing else is coming that is better. Take them. So because I'm almost 40, I must settle. Also because I'm suffering, I'm persecuted, I don't have a job, I go nowhere, I must settle. There was a guy in this complex, Nangshela, Ungadile, right? And I had a vision of him being the only option that I have, because he's in my complex. Unalongpona every so often. He lives like a couple of houses down from here. Yeah, like that being my only option, because he is in my complex. He lives in my area, my very immediate environment. He lives here. Being threatened with that being the only guy that's going to be trying to holler at me, when I already said no. Guys, like, yo, you don't understand, Labantu. Like, you know, when a man is threatening you with, I feel like you're the only guy that has access to you, that can cite you, two houses down. That's going to be the only person that's going to be like, so are you still not trying to get with me, Karabo? Are you still stubborn? Come on, girl. I mean, you know, what I mean, like, yeah, proper. Ultimately, Jafela finally capitulating to some dude that you already said no to, because no one else is coming. You're gonna keep on being buried. No man will see you. So now my YouTube channel is freakishly frozen. Nobody is looking at my content. I upload shorts, they go nowhere. I upload long form content, they go nowhere. Gutulile, no more DMs am I getting on Facebook. No movement. It's just frozen. Get statue, and I am sure it is not social media that's doing that to me. It's not shadow banning. I already spoke about that. This here is sorcery. And the Lord is allowing it to work that I might come here and tell you these stories. They create a haunted life out of your ecosystem. They create a haunting around Impilo Yako. They put people in ghost towns. You might be encircled, teeming at the folds all around you. Might be people bustling in your neighborhoods. Do you understand? And yet they will strangely ignore you. You will be strangely disregarded. They will just walk right by you like you ain't jack. And as for y'all women who out here are so freaking envious that you are prepared to let me suffer like this, all the best. Because tomorrow you're going to meet a freak like that. In this South Africa of ours, they're everywhere. All the best, thinking, Ugutimina, you can leave me in all of this isolation. Kiliwan. They'll be damned if they see another man in my arms. Yeah. All the best leaving me at the mercy of those men and think that you are exempt. Think that you are going to be safe. You know what it is similar to? The story of Esther and Mordecai and the whole Haman thing and the attack against the Jews. The one that basically produced that holiday, that Jewish holiday called Purim. You know how they wanted to kill the Jews. And Mordecai went to Esther to try and ask for help because she was the queen. And Esther was out here giving excuses about how it is that, and like the king could kill her unless he puts out his scepter, blah, blah, blah. And then Mordecai was like, hey, relax, Bloma. Help for the Jews is going to come from some other place if not from you. But when it does come, you will not struggle. You are also going to get afflicted because of the fact that you do not stand for the Jews. You're going to be met with judgment. But who knows? If you have not been put in a position like the one that you're in right now for such a time as this. Essentially, Mordecai said, whether or not you like it, and when we get helped, because you were complacent, you're going to die too. You're going to get lambasted too. But right now, maybe you've been put here for such a time as this. Women, this thing is a plague that's coming at everybody. Some of y'all might not yet be afflicted by some jabu or by some funny little weird seasway in a corner. Or officing on your first day working for a new company. You might not have met that guy yet. But comprehend that when the Lord finally brings judgment on such things as these, now it was like a domino. I told you guys the other day that I had a dream where the Lord showed me women entering into marriages and then finding out on the day when they are unpacking boxes after coming back from honeymoon that their husbands are involved in the occult because they find occult paraphernalia inside their boxes that they, I guess, moved to the new house with. Hey, I told you guys that this thing, it's ubiquitous. You are not exempt. You are not exempt. I'm not the only one. Telling themselves, I'm not the only one. You would be surprised, Nani, sometimes for women. You just got married 2 weeks ago, and on the day you met your boyfriend, Moshel like no man's business, high and low, left and right, lime kakweni, normal. You even parked in traffic, dudes be out here hollering at you, and then next thing you meet him, and after 2 weeks of being with this guy, going on a first date, and you tell yourself, and our attractiveness fades overnight, and then you think back and you realize that did that to you. Make sure to DM on Facebook. Make sure that nobody's trying to look at you. Make sure that even the guy that was looking at you, trying to muster up the courage, despite having the one that you went to school with, and you were happy to be with him first before this guy comes. Next thing, he's completely ignoring you. Next thing, yeah, you get my point. Next thing, that's what I wanted to say. Next thing, or the guy that you were spazzing on Hard Knock that lives in the same complex as you, and at some point you were eventually going to get talking. Next thing, he comes and he's busy walking around holding hands with some new chick, some chick who busy silly girlfriend, and you are like, Bandla, where, oh dude, I live literally upstairs from you, and you keep looking at me that way. I know you like me. How in the world you go now be with some woman, and then the same woman that he keeps bringing, you think it's a fling. Next thing they're engaged. Next thing she's moving in. Next thing, and you're like, but like, I've been here all this time. Okay, that made him make a decision not to pursue you. It's these animals. It's these freaks. They create an eerie little nightmare on Elm Street out of your life because they cannot trust themselves, but insecure so much because of involvement in the occult that they cannot just leave you. They can't just let you. They can't just let any other man pursue you. They want the best wives, and once they pin you, unless you come out in the name of Jesus. We pupile, pinnacled like a queen, because you think your name is Esther. Help for Karabo. It's going to come from some other place if not from you. But when it comes for me, you are going to be walked right by. and the plague is gonna hit your tent. But who knows, if you've not been put in a position to see my content for such a time as this. Y'all can see operating against my life, and now I'm telling you, origin thing. John Legend busy bina ran into you yesterday. Memories rushed to my brains. Expecting like Janet Jackson, God knows I don't want to love you again. What would you do if I called you? Oh, what would you do if I held your hand and laid you down? I would cry rape. This is rape. Stop it. These men are romanticizing incarceration. It's a Hegelian dialectic. They have kidnapped me. They freaking put me in the boot of a car and are actively orchestrating my rescue. This is what's going on. They hope to freeze each and every until I am desperate, crying out to my hostage taker, and then turn the gun on himself one day in the future. Amadoda abafuna ukungena ngenkani empilweni zabafazi to a point where they will isolate her from ifamily yakhe yonke, just so he can act like a Prince Charming when the chick was not even a freaking Cinderella. Reconciliations are being fostered. Family members are repenting. People are doing better. Abantu that hurt you are looking like they're kind of apologetic. Kota lenja lena is going to be like, Kota uglimaze last week. God said we must forgive. Umuntu that wants you to keep grudges going because absent of you having grudges na yonke le lomgaqolo na lonke lomphakathi, unless you've got a grudge with the whole damn community, he cannot get into your life, because people that speak life into your life, he does not want them there. They're like the devil. All they can do is steal, kill, and destroy. They manipulate impilo zabafazi. My hostage taker, I would much rather die. And recently I just had a dream of one literally telling me, like, you will scan groceries, go pick and pay because I'll funu jola nam. Ulukile 50 here. They're running these streets. Gender-based violence is through the roof in South Africa. They are wreaking havoc in the lives of our fights, and all of y'all are sitting back where you're sitting thinking ukuthi you're exempt ngoba nina you've got jobs in corporate South Africa. Ujabu usebenza in corporate South Africa, Losizo wakhona no John, they are in corporate South Africa, and they spot you, decide ukuthi ontswembu, and then like mina ngizokuchata ngenkani. Lo muntu has decided ukuthi wena you're gonna say ngiyavuma, I do ngiyavuma, thinking ukuthi wena ngula sauce no Amanda Black. He will thoroughly make you say I do, because he will make sure nobody else is even trying to holler at you. That's these men in the occult. Kibona ba all over the show. I ke batle now lo recyclwa. Nkare ke bogate ya 1995 itelela wa nkutla. I do not want go lo aparwa. Nkare ke bogate tswapogileng gore na ke batlo lo apara bogate tswapogileng. Nkare ke ntwentsha. Amadoda azo recyclwa, a recycla abo cherry. Next thing, now that we're all 40s, tshwantse nna ke lo jola le motho. Grandshapone ke motseba 10 years ago. About 10 years ago, the game up and down lime kakweni, thinking ukuthi yena uyitumele nkhune, blocking goals and everything. Yeah, I got them about to shela. Oh, fikle 10 years kaufela. You're starting to pop your first gray hairs. Una 45, and only then we are figure when the two of y'all now 25 una hotela. Mara, let's bana ba itere. Li divorce day 2. Mara tshwantse wena o lotsa malo jola le. It's like common in the entertainment industry. You know what common all over, man. The other day nana le Tiffany Haddish. And you know how common nale mut pilaga thing back in the day. Una chesa una ba. Keep us monna why o stay married, because look at you that fly dude that everybody was crushing on. But as they get older, they recycle each other. So Common dates Tiffany Haddish and then they break up. Now he's with Jennifer Hudson. It's like, as in all this recycling with people getting older. It's because y'all don't trust Jesus. Wait on the Lord for husbands, so that you don't have to date a guy that once upon a time dated some twice removed friend of yours. Twice removed friend. Like, you know, so Jolale the guy, or Jolangle Moto that was your best friend in primary school. Or also Jolale a guy that was the twice removed friend of your ex-boyfriend. Or also Jolale a guy that is divorced, remarried, divorced. Some woman has got a baby on the way, but then hey, ran into you yesterday, memories rush. Yeah, now that you're all 45, Seni Jolanya recyclana. And because you are no longer abangani, ukabelo nos piwe, were friends in primary school. 20 years down the line, they don't even know what the other person is doing. And so even though you dated piwe when you were in primary school, so jola no kabelo manje now that you're 45, isn't it injalo? I suga guys. Kholo recyclwana hakana. Kholo apara bogate tsopugileng a botloko hakana. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'm not going to do what Common is doing. No, not Common. I'm not going to do what Tiffany Haddish and Jennifer Hudson are doing. Out here sharing a guy that from long ago in Jefela, but because y'all are not tight, literally the same guy, and you keep on recycling each other. You're recycling. It's just messy. Marry. Meet a man, marry, and stay married. Instead of break up and go high school. I get that I used to know in primary school that are looking at me today, that I used to know in corporate South Africa and MTN. Some guys but the family mama strateng by the baby mama 20. I can mo abang pona since ni mo pila at 40 and be like, yo girl, I've always liked you. As I'm like another 25. I promise you, there is nobody that is going to marry me that I knew on the come up. I don't even think he's from South Africa, but I am not going to marry a man that knows my ex-boyfriend, that knows my former friend, that once dated for 2 weeks some ex of mine. Like, I'm not doing it. And that feel as if ex-boyfriend Karabo, you broke up 13 years ago and we're not even that tight anymore. Yeah, my ex. That's how you guys recycle each other. You meet in office parties, you meet in new companies where you work, and next thing you realize, which age, but I've always liked you. I've always thought you were cute, eh? But he's your ex's boy, girl. Nah, but you're 45 now, so you don't care. Well, I do. I care. Ako recycler. Ako aparwana. I'm not going to be taken by anybody that knows me or knows someone that ever knew me before. It's not happening. South Africans, libalang. I guess I don't know South African get done. At this point, in New York or France. I get a South African. If the Lord will see it fit to give me a husband, it's not going to be a South African. Because neither am I going to apara. Bogate, it's wapuhiling. Dream on, John Legend. Dream on, Janet Jackson. Dream on, Freshly Ground. Ako recyclwa. Especially considering just decides ukuthi wena umusadi waka. So for those reasons, the flames in your doorway, where you are going to finally realize the very hard way, the very unfortunate and uncomfortable way that you don't get to call dibs on a Christian woman. As for the rest of y'all women who have left me at the mercy of all of these random dastardly men, all the best. Into oblivion to a point of sisters. To a point of abo sisters abanye. All the best. Mara, as for me, go overseas and come at me ka flying kick ya boot print ya soccer match. Come at me again. Le bone ngore lo fella kae. Mudimu ole ravasa. Ole sugankar le washing e tlhatswang ka omo. Ole bontsha di flames. It's that basic. I'm signing out in Christ's name, Cran K. Bye bye.